middle and high school choir day. And we'll be doing movement one.
Yeah, it was just one measure, just one measure. Sometimes orchestras save us when we do that.
Oh, they totally.
And that happens sometimes. But really, everything is very good. Good use of, again, like Michelle, good use of the facial expressions, I thought. Lots of good eye contact.
I was trying to get my pattern bigger. On
The
some
pattern,
songs.
yeah. The difference of dynamics is much better than it was.
Okay.
I think. I think you've made a lot of improvement there. And I didn't see the gun.
We didn't talk about it today, was the difference.
So
Right.
I'm glad you didn't get the gun cue.
Yeah.
You don't want your violins or anybody to fall over. The one place where I thought eye contact would have been a lot more helpful, just to get the dynamic you want, is the top of page 3, that intro to the violas, cello, bass.
Okay.
Bump, bum, bump, right before the violins come in on the 8s.
Okay, yeah.
That's a big moment, right? That's
Yeah.
to me, that's a point of arrival,
Mm-hmm.
because we get these two melodies happening at once, right? Juxtaposed against one another. Can you try that?
We're going to start right there on the second measure.
Why don't we start? There's not a lot of great places to start. Why don't you start 1, 2, 3, 4 after 1? It's kind of weird to start right on the downbeat of 4 after 1. And then just turn to the cello bass when you get to that spot.
Okay.
Yeah. Isn't that more more of the sound you wanted?
Yeah, they were
Yeah.
more aggressive, it was a fuller sound.
Yeah, and all it takes is just
Yeah.
acknowledging them, really, right? You acknowledge them and you feel good and they play louder. That's what strings do. That's what we do. Be careful of, sometimes you get a slight double ictus
Okay.
with the head motion. Just be careful, it's not always,
Yeah.
when you do move, it's not always like the bottle thing, right?
I think a lot of that right now is just.
Well, I didn't say anything earlier. You were doing it a little bit before. I didn't say anything. It's actually better than it was.
Okay.
I mean, it really is. I thought overall you did a really good job. What are your thoughts?
I had a blast doing it. You don't get a chance to do this now in Missouri, so. Yeah. So, yeah, it was fun. Yeah, thank you guys. It was awesome.
Comments?
I liked that, oh, go ahead. I liked that you breathed a lot with him, like she had mentioned, and, like your cues, you're always cueing. It was very obvious when you needed somebody to come in.
I think you may have a habit that I have a hard time breaking, which is singing the parts along with them when you're cueing their entrances. And I enjoy doing it, but I was told that it's not appropriate.
I didn't actually hear
I was
singing.
doing it during one of the band rehearsals earlier this week, and I didn't even know.
I didn't actually hear it, but yeah, that's something we don't want to do. I have to fight
It's one
myself
of those
doing
things
that
I don't even
sometimes.
know I'm doing, so I'm just gonna have to.
You're having so
video
much
it.
fun, you're so much into it.
Yeah.
Cindy, you had a comment.
Well, when you're not doing that, your other thing to do is this.
Yes.
I do that when I play drum set also.
I'm just one of those people that, as a player, that's distracting for me because I get the giggles and then I can't count.
Okay.
And you teach middle school, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, if they watch you, then they'll get the giggles
Oh,
too.
I'm sure.
I wanted to say that just watching you go from the choral conducting to band conducting and now to orchestral conducting, there's been so much improvement just in the last 2.5 weeks.
Yeah,
like
you've
just
worked
with
really
control, like you really feel like it feels like you know exactly like what you want from the group, and you're willing to go after and get it and just take command a lot more than like that first night on the podium. And so like kudos to you for making that much improvement in the last 2.5 weeks.
One thing at the very end, you got a little, actually it was the other way, like Jocelyn does sometimes. We don't want the, you know,
Same habits.
so right there at the end, you need to be, right, you need to be centered so you can have that
Yeah.
bump, 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 and it was a little with your direction to the lower strings.
Yeah.
You want to try that?
Do you want me to start last 5 measures?
Sure. Why don't we get into the tempo primo?
Okay. Pick up submission 29.
Let's go a little before that so you can actually get into it. How about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 before. 8 before 9.
You know what that is?
It's in the middle of the phrase.
Sorry, that's
Okay, it's okay.
That's too slow. I apologize about that.
You're more centered though. You're more
Yeah,
centered.
well, I caught myself. I was here. I was like, now I need to be here.
With the breaths orchestra, are the breaths distracting at all? Okay, good, good. They're a little loud,
Yeah.
but if they're not distracting, that's okay. I typically do it through my nose. People might think I use drugs or something, but, you know, but that's typically, I'm not a brass player or anything, or a wind player, so I typically do it through my nose. Comments from the orchestra?
I'm sorry, I have a comment. I'm not in the orchestra.
How dare you?
Dang it.
Hey, Sean, I just noticed this. Actually, I've been noticing it for a while. I wanted to see. I can tell you just got married because you play with your ring while you're conducting.
Go ahead.
You go like this a lot.
I did not even notice that.
Yeah, I've been watching you to see if it was, I just got married and I'm not used to the ring yet, but I just watched to see if you get rid of it and you twist your ring all while you're conducting.
I did the same thing when I first got married.
Yeah, I
I
did too
did.
when I
My
was.
wife yells at me for doing that.
Yeah.
So, but thank you for pointing that out. That's something, yeah, that can be, I didn't notice it, but if somebody notices it, then other people will too.
I was just gonna say, I think you can actually get more power from this.
Okay.
Especially, you know, with your stature, if you just come a little more centered into the body and just really drive the energy into the stick through the arm, you'll be able to actually get quite a bit more power if you're coming from your core, and then you wanna lighten up and have something less loud, then you don't have to use anything from the core. You can just come straight from the wrist and stay lighter. Then, you know, have that intensity in the arm from the body, and you'll actually get a much bigger sound from us. You just engage through the body that way.
I know we're a little over for Sean, but orchestra, do you mind if we try the beginning so you can try that? And I think what Dr. Turner said is, I mean, that's a great point. Centered and use that energy. Focused right here. Yeah, and be big here. You don't want to hunch over. Be big.
Better? It felt better.
Yeah,
It looked better.
it does look better.
I felt much more right here and not there.
Yeah,
Yeah, I was gonna
yeah,
say,
it's here.
Getting after 7 when you're cueing us, you lean really far towards us, and sometimes that can be distracting.
Okay.
And if you stay taller, you'll still get that big sound if you're gonna address us, you know, yeah, so it's basically the same thing.
Yeah, yeah. When it's forte, I try to be big. And I think I mentioned in class, people of our stature, we have to compensate that we're not quite as tall as some conductors, right? So by standing up straight and being forward focused, that really helps. Really good job. Really good.